Viewers, prepare for Saturday morning. But why, Joe? What are we going to do Saturday morning? The same thing we do every Saturday morning, viewers. Try and take over. Watch Saturday morning cartoons. So let's start the show.
Out of bed, so much running through my head. Pour myself a bowl of tricks, and I eat it. I sit down and watch TV. Familiar faces comfort me.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the season finale, episode 10 of Cartoons and Cereal. Your Saturday morning weekly nostalgia trip, going back through the past, talking about all the cartoons we can wake up Saturday morning, curl with that bowl of cereal, and just soak in the nostalgia. I am your host as always, and yes, it only made sense. If I'm going to talk about Animaniacs last week, then I gotta finish it up with Pinky and the Brain. It's right there, like, gotta do it. And Pinky and the Brain was no slouch either. I mean, I feel like the comedy, obviously, because it was by Steven Spielberg, so there were some similarities there with Animaniacs, but to be honest, going back and rewatching it, it had its adult themes too. It really had some adult themes. Now, when I sit here, I think about Animaniacs, it was what we talked about last week. There were some sexual jokes in there. There were a lot. Pinky and the Brain. From what I watched so far, it's kind of racy. Like it's kind of racy, and it makes a lot of like workplace jokes and stuff like that. But there's a lot to get into, guys. Before we talk about it, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if we should bring it back a little bit in the summer. I mean, it's summer now, but we're going to take a little break. We're going to watch some more cartoons. We're going to, wake up early Saturday morning like we always do. Check out some new shows. Maybe we'll learn some new things, and I'll come back with some surprises for, season 2. But getting into Pinky and the Brain, right? Let's start the weekly rant, as if you will. The best thing I heard about Pinky and the Brain is the working theory that actually I find hilarious at the time, and I found it, I didn't really know about it as a kid so much, but more so when I got a little older. You hear the theory that Pinky is actually the genius and Brain's the insane one. But now, and I'm a reach, you guys are going to be like, okay, like, if you're going to put it like that, people are going to be in the comments, you're going to defend everything, and there's per episode stuff that happened. I understand. But when I think about it and I actually watch episodes, Pinky had some really good moments where it's like, oh, wait, like you might actually be the genius. Have you guys ever heard that theory? Like, Pinky's the genius and Brain's just, like, insane. I mean, Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, knowing the result and, expecting something different. I'm not saying that Brain knew he was going to fail at taking over the world every time, but I mean, how many times? I mean, I feel like, so there's an episode actually we'll get into. I feel like there were episodes like Brain kind of won, but then he kind of didn't. So here we go with Pinky first. Let's break this down. There was an episode. First off, there's an episode where Pinky gets smarter than Brain. Brain makes actual machine that literally just says dumb and smart. And he made Pinky smart. It didn't say to make him smarter than Brain. It just said to make him smart. So the moment he made Pinky smart, he actually became smarter than Brain. And now Brain was the idiot. So it's kind of like, how did you go from this dumb to already being smarter than me? It just says smart. So to me, it was a little weird. Like, Brain was doing all these different computations and, all these calculations, doing his whole thing. And it was just like, all right, cool. Then he made Pinky smart. But wouldn't that kind of mean you have to be some type of smart if making me smart makes me smarter than a genius? Don't you have to already be some kind of smart? Because it didn't, again, the machine didn't say smarter or it didn't say expert or genius or anything. It just said smarter, or just said smart. So to me, I was like, doesn't that kind of mean Pinky was already kind of smart? My other evidence for that is actually both of them happened in the same episode. So there's an episode, and this kind of ties in with my whole theory of Brain actually winning a couple episodes. So actually, it happened twice so far from what I've been watching. The first episode, they go, actually literally the first episode of the series, they go down into the deep water, and they actually resurrect the Titanic. And they bring the Titanic back to Acme Labs, and they have like a whole big pancake jamboree, and the whole point is they're trying to put this serum in the pancake that the people are going to eat, and then it'll, mind or brainwash them and everything, and then Pinky Brain will take over the world. He'll tell everybody, blah blah, this is, I'm the ruler, blah blah, they're supposed to follow his lead. They got everybody to the place. Pinky just screwed up on, Pinky made the pancakes, and he left out that disgusting tasting serum that Brain had been working on that was going to turn everybody. So, like, in a way, it's like Brain kind of won. He got them there. Now, to me, it was like, what's to stop you if everybody enjoyed your pancakes and everybody came out, big pancake jamboree, it was great, it was a success hit and everything. What's to stop you from doing it again? Why can't you go be like, all right, we'll do this tomorrow night, we'll do this next week? Like, what was to stop him from just doing it again? This time, add in a little bit of the serum, or maybe add in a little bit at a time, and eventually, over the course of, a couple weeks to a month, whatever, this place is the big jumping place for breakfast food. Maybe, you add in something else. You sprinkle in a serum on a sausage, sprinkle a little bit of serum on eggs, maybe in the drink of choice, and you could have had it. So it was like the plan kind of worked, but Pinky just took out the serum. Now let's put the serum in little by little. They could have won. Brain actually could have took over the world. So that ties in back to the second point of him actually kind of succeeding in his plan. So there was an episode, and this is going to actually tie in with Pinky being smart too, where Brain had an idea to sit up here and kind of rewrite history and put his face in everything in history. He's going to be the influence on all the big music that happened in the era, from like rock to rap to this and that. He put his face on like the Mona Lisa. He was the first man on the moon. He put his face on that. So every little part of history that was like influential, and people that really recognized the person of that, or the people or the place or whatever, Brain rewrote history for his face to be on all of that, so everybody would recognize him for all those things. So aliens came down from outer space, obviously another galaxy far away, whatever, and the aliens come in and they're like, take us to your leader. And it's funny because they always make cameos of people, and this is going to tie into another point that I got to make in a second. But they always have cameos of other people, like Bill Clinton was all through the series, and other people like that. But the emperors go past everybody else, all these influential world leaders and everybody else that's there, and they go to Pinky and Brain standing on the podium. Pinky holds up a sign saying, like, this is Brain the Emperor. So they go to Brain. So Brain is like, talking to them, and he's kind of has them interested and stuff like that. And of course, Pinky starts saying all his Narf, joint, point, like all his weird shit. And the aliens look at Pinky and they're like, he speaks our language fluently. Pinky can speak extraterrestrial language. Now, like, let's not sit up here and be like, it's kind of, sorry, I'm like out of focus. Let's not sit here and try to, blaze past that and just be like, whoa, Pinky can speak alien languages? Am I reaching there? Maybe I'm reaching. But it just kind of seems like, and then later on, now Brain sees that. Now Brain hops on that, and Brain's like, oh, Narf. Yeah, I say that too. I taught him how to do that. And they're like, oh, okay. So they bring them to their galaxy, and Brain along the way says, Pinky, are you just naturally stupid, or do you have to practice being stupid? And Pinky goes, I practice being stupid all day long, Brain. Why do you have to practice being stupid? Why do you have to practice being stupid? You know what I'm saying? Like, my lighting is like attacking my phone stand. Oh, it's just Pinky in the Brain. Can you stop trying to take my phone stand? I'm trying to do something. Jesus, can you wait? Damn, Brain. Fucking guy. Anyway, I'm talking about you. It's the season finale. What do you want to be on the camera? No, because you're going to try to take over my show. Get the hell out of here. Like, just a little scurrying off and shit. What's wrong with these people? Sorry. Jesus. Anyway. But anyway, yeah. Like, it's... To me, it was just like, whoa. Pinky can speak other languages. Like, he can speak other languages. He has to practice being stupid. Why you gotta practice being stupid? I'm just saying. So, the other point in all this, and the show, moving on past the whole theory of genius level intellect from Pinky. What? Hold on, yo. Hold on. Can you stop? Get. Sorry. See, they're trying to steal my shit. Yeah, where were we talking about? Pinky in the Brain. Brain is... I think you are the insane one. You're the insane one. Damn, my goodness. So, let's get through this, guys. I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. Anyway, so one of the other funny things I thought about Pinky in the Brain, like I said, Animaniacs had very raunchy jokes and everything too. Pinky in the Brain had some raunchy jokes, but I've been noticing a lot of like racial tones, we'll say. So the one thing I noticed out about, like, as far as their raunchy jokes, not the racial side of things, was there's an episode where Brain, remember when Brain used to get that like really big suit, and like it was just like him trying to be a human, but obviously he was like all awkward and everything. So he got a job at like a reinsurance agency, or like a reinsurance agency, something like that. And his boss walked up and he gave him a paper, like one piece of paper, and he was like, here's your holiday and vacation paper, here's your salary guide, here's that. And then you pulled out like this stack of like thousands of papers and slammed it on his desk, and he was like, this is all your sexual harassment papers and, you know, policies and stuff like that. I was just like, of course that won't be thousands of pages long. Like, they knew what they were doing making scenes like that, you know. And then there's a scene in the same episode where their girl came in, and of course she's supposed to be like the hot one chick in the office, and she started making advances towards Brain. She was touching him and everything and saying like, oh, like, you know, are you the new guy? You're hot, you're this and that. And like Brain like picked her up with like one arm, and they were just very like chest to chest, and she was just like flirting like, ooh, like, okay, like I like a big strong man. I was just like, what? I don't remember this as a child. Like, maybe I just missed this part. I don't know. It got a little weird. And then of course Brain was like, I don't find you attractive at all, and like dropped her. So then she screamed, and then he had to like report to HR, and I was like, oh well, those sexual harassment papers actually came in handy. All right. And it tiptoed around like kind of racial terms. Well, I'm just gonna say that, like, when he did his interview at that same job, the boss pulled him inside, and he was looking at Braden, obviously, because he's like this huge robot body, and he's like this small, you know, mouse head. And the guy was just like, where, trying to be like, where are you from, or what are you? And he was, you know, tiptoeing around it, but then he ducked out the office. He's like, hold on real quick. And he went to a secretary, and he was like, cancel all other interviews. I've got a minority hired here. It's just like, it's like, yo, what? And he was literally saying like, you people, and where you people come from. And Bray was looking at him like, where do you think I'm come from? And he was just like, yeah, you're somewhere. I think he's he was talking to somebody else later. He was like, I think that guy was European or something like that. You know, they have small white heads. And I was like, yo. And then there was like there was other world leaders. So when the emperors came, there was like world leaders around, and everybody was speaking up like, I'm the dictator, I'm the emperor of the world, I'm the emperor of the world. And they depicted an African guy, and the first part of what he said just was making noise, and I was just making like noises, and I was like, oh my god, like, oh my god, like, what are you, what, how did this get written, and why was this why was this okay to go through? I gotta hit this because this episode's gonna be like adult only. The last one I will bring up was, of course, and you guys could tell. I'm not even gonna do all of it, but there's episodes they went to Tokyo, and of course, when they get to Tokyo, Godzilla has to be involved, and yeah, I'm talking about how you got your ass kicked by Godzilla. Yeah, exactly. Go back in your hole. Damn. And of course, I'm not gonna. There's Japanese people, and the way they talk, and their accents, and their names, you could decipher it for yourself. I'm not getting canceled. I'm not doing this. This isn't going to be a series finale. This is just the season finale. I said what I said. You can decipher it for yourself. I can see why the show got canceled. I can really see it. Maybe it wasn't because of that. Maybe it was more of like, the Animaniacs kind of reasoning. Like, not the whole budget money thing, but more so just like it was a teen to adult rated TV show, or it was more for that. Those, that's what Animaniacs was. It was more for teen and young adults and stuff like that. And it just happened to, cater to us, and there was the time it came out, and we thought it was hilarious. And I feel like kids, teens, adults could all sit around and watch it, and all enjoy it for different reasons. Like, I'm laughing on the kid level because it's two lab rats trying to take over the world. They're getting their asses kicked, and it's funny. Then teens are catching more teen adults, and adults are catching like the raunchiest of it. So like it was like literally like a family show. Like, we all sit down and watch it. You ain't gonna understand it all at my level, but like going back now as an adult watching it, I get it. I get it from the adult standpoint. Like from the kid standpoint, haha, yes, like the anvil fell on you. It was funny. But from the adult standpoint, I picked up on that joke you just said. Like it was a different time. I get it. It was, mid to late 90s, early 2000s. People weren't as sensitive. Like, there wasn't a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world now. So I get it and I understand. And that's where I'm going to cut this episode. Maybe I'll put like rated R or something like that. Mature content only on this one. I don't know. Like I said, it followed kind of, because it's Spielberg and it was around those same eras, So it followed a lot of the guidelines of the same kind of flow of it's kind of etchy and not etchy, like sketchy comedy and edgy. It was very edgy. Like it was very. There are some themes in there that you didn't catch as a child that you definitely will as an adult. But on that note, oh, and look, there you guys go. You got your fucking cereal, because some of you just literally hitting me up and saying I'm not watching if the cereal's not there. So there you go. There you go. Look, I'll end it like this. How about this for the thumbnail? I won't even put the cartoons here. I'll do this. So you better watch the episode because there's cereal in it now. And I literally like attacked Pinky in the brain for like 18 minutes. So on that note, you probably won't ever watch again because I just threw them out my house. But for you guys that do come back, season 2, it's gonna be great. I'm just gonna go watch cartoons. What's to hate about that? You know what I'm saying? Join me, watch some cartoons. Tell me what your favorite part of the series has been so far. Episodes 1 through 10. What should I do next? When should I come back? Like, that's my biggest thing. Speaking of which, I will be on the road soon, guys. So you will be catching content from out of the state. I will be on not my other YouTube channel, but Joe. You see Joey Collects is leaking back out, right? This is just Joe. This is Saturday Morning Joe. This is up in the bed, eating a bowl of cereal, watching cartoons. Joey Collects is coming back out. He's got some stuff in store for y'all. But until then, guys, keep it locked to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until next week, go try to take over the world. Peace out.